we have some difficult life decisions in this video, which cat eye to use. We also have some very easy to follow step-by-step doodleage, some spectacular zhuzhing, and a teeny tiny moon, and some other stuff. Hello gang, hello friends, hello gang friends! I don't know why this video is so long. Hello, thank you for hello. How do I start? Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Do you remember this collection that we swatched, the Madame Glam Moonlit Spell collection? We're going to do something with all of them, although I think except Moonlit Mauve, which is bizarre because it's one of my favourites from the collection, but I'll explain why in a bit. So we're going to start with the lowering of the voice. I'm very close to the recording device. I don't need to shout. This is Enchanted Moss. And have you seen this video yet? One of the recent videos? If not, why not? Go check it out. It's a super fun video. It was fun for me. Anyway. So we've done 2 coats of Enchanted Moss. Now we're taking black gel paint. This is a recreation of a nail I saw by Ismail.nailartist. I saw it on Pinterest. And we're going to copy that. So we've done a line down the centre, and then we're doing 3 lines, but you see the first 2 lines like that. The next line is further away from the middle line than the top line is. And we're just mapping out the design. So we're going to come straight line down here. Oh, I'm terrible at this stuff, aren't I? And then another straight line on the other side, the same distance away from the centre line as the other one was. And then in the middle of these 2, we're going to do a little tiny straight line. And then here, this is a nose. So instead of starting from the centre line, we're going to come out a bit. So that the nose, this is Frankenstein's monster. So the nose doesn't come to a point. It has a square top as well. And then just a tiny bit inside that other line, the other horizontal, vertical line. Fudge! We're coming down at a very slight angle. And this is what we have. This, the way you can see, right, what? You'll be able to see things better with the subsequent nails. This was just hard to see because it was black on dark green. Should have done it in white. Now the ears just below his nose, but on this outside line, just before the bottom of his nose, sorry, we're going to do a little C and stop it at the middle horizontal line, and that's going to be his ear. Now don't cure it yet. Hold your horses. We're going to wipe off what we don't need. Yeah, I saw this, so thank you to Ismail.nailartist. I saw this video and was like, this is so cute, I have to do it. I don't think my colour choices were right for camera. But I do the next ones I outline. I do the doodles in white so we can see better. So we've wiped off everything we don't want. Basically the lines that didn't form part of the face. And we cured it. And we're going to take a striping brush. And the striping brush is a bit thicker than the ultra liner. And it's also got a straight tip, which is really good for filling in straight things, because when you go up to the edge of what you're filling in, you're going to get a straight line. I just find it quite helpful. So we're using potion dust, and we're just filling in the forehead, and we're going to bring out the zhuzh, Z-H-U-Z-H, and I thought if I bring it out at the bottom of the forehead and then push it down from the top, the darker bit at the top will be like a shadow once we put his hair on, a shadow of his hair. So we cured that, and then we're going to do the nose. I think my zhuzh placement, I could have just filled in the whole thing and just used the whole thing. So if you want to do that, you can do that. You do you, boo. But I wanted to make sure that this, just wiping off the bit on the forehead so that we did still have a straight line difference between the two sections we've cat-eyed, and flash curing as you go, just so that the subsequent cat-eye, it's like 20 to 4 in the morning and I'm lying down in bed. Not normally how I do my voiceovers, so forgive me. It's making me feel like I'm not right. Yeah, flash cure so that when you zhuzh the next bit, you don't affect the bit you've already done. And then I'm bringing it, kind of curving it at the bottom here and getting most of the glow at the bottom, pushing it down here so that there's a bit of shadow from his forehead. Ideally to make it look like his forehead is sticking out further, but the zhuzh ends up kind of looking like just one big zhuzh, and that's fine because you can't really go wrong with a zhuzh. Which is what I call the bringing out of the cat-eye, the releasing of the sparkliness. Just in case you're new, that's the zhuzh. It's not what zhuzh means, but that's what we use it for. Okay, we have cured, and we're taking this SGO, I'll put it in the description, from Born Pretty. It's a jelly, and this is what she did. She did a bit of jelly under the eyes here. Under the eyes, sorry. Where the eyes are going. In like a U shape that's got a lid on and filled in. And keep it straight at the top in line with the forehead. And then we will cure that. See? It's really hard to see this now. Like, I promise visually it gets less kind of like, I feel like when I was editing this, I felt like I was squinting the whole time. Like, what's going on? But it does get easier to watch, I promise. Okay, we're now taking Celestial Jungle. How freaking awesome is this colour? And doing the same as we did with the jellies, but smaller. So inside that jelly section. And these are his eyes, but bringing them up to the side of his nose, towards the centre, and then little U-shaped, lidded U-shapes that are filled in. They might look a bit different in a sec because I think I wiped this and did it a couple of times. Sometimes it's easier to do things not holding it under the camera. And I'm going to whiz through outlining because, again, you can't really see what's going on. So let's just, we're outlining everything. The nose, at the top of the nose here, we're going up diagonally outwards from the corners of the top of his nose to give him a kind of furrowed brow. And then across the top of the eyes, and then outline the bright green bit. And then cure, probably. Oh no, we've got to give him a mouth. So under his nose, we're just going to do a little grrr. That's just a, What shape is it? It's a shape. And then on the side of his head, we are thickening up the black. And then we're going to curve along the top. I think this would have been better on a lighter background. Well, obviously it would be. You'd be able to see it more, but it's done. So we're going to curve along the top, make it look like he has a short back and sides, and then fill that in. And then we're going to bring in some little lines from the hairline into the face to give him a little, it's almost like a French crop. Oh my goodness, do you remember in the 90s, mid to late 90s, all the boys had a French crop? Yeah. French crop and a Ben Sherman shirt and some Reebok Classics. I had some Reebok Classics, pink on the sole. What am I doing? Giving him a French crop, bringing some bits on the side as well. All I can think about is boys and sixth form now. My senior school boyfriend at the time. One day I came in and everyone was like, "Have you seen him yet?" I was like, "No, why?" Nobody would tell me, and I saw him. He'd shaved his head completely. Anyway, what am I doing now? Oh, I'm taking BPCA06. It's the Born Pretty black jelly. They've got a bunch, but this is the one I have. And going at the bottom of his face, under where the top of his hair, a little bit under the eyes, under the jelly of the eyes, I think. And then just fading it a bit, just little strokes like this. It's a jelly, so you don't need to put too much effort into fading it out, because it will do it quite easily. And now, breathe. But what we're doing, we've velvet topped, so you can see what I've done better now. That's what was going on. I know, who knew? That's what was happening. So we velvetized it, and then I'm adding the screws on the side of his head. These weren't in the inspo, but and they're on his neck, aren't they? And his neck is not here, but I really wanted to put them on, so we're just going to put them low down on the side of his face. Just a tiny little square, and then a little line to be like the top of the nut bolt. Wait, which one's the nut? The nut's the round donut thing, is it? And then the bolt goes in. Who cares? Okay, now we're going to top coat using the Madame Glam No Wipe Top. Did I tell you? Don't think I have. You can get a whopping 30%. 30%. It's nearly 40, which is pretty much 50, half price off at Madame Glam if you use my link in the description and the code MISSJO30. And they've just brought their advent calendar out. I've done a video that opens it all up, and we look at it and we swatch it and we do some combos and things. So if you want to have a look at that, then that's on my channel now. And this is our guy. Now, his name's Frankenstein. Does he have a name? Frankenstein's monster? Or is that... Yeah, I don't know. His name's not Frankenstein, is it? But that's what we call him. Anyway, let's give him a name. Let me know in the comments what we should call him. Or does he have a name? I bet he has one. Okay, I had to Google. I just couldn't. So, Frankenstein's monster has no official name in the novel, but is referred to by various terms such as the creature, the fiend, the wretch, and the demon. Let's give him a nicer name than that. Anyway, now we have done Pumpkin Ritual, and I've buffed it so we can see better what's going on, and I'm using white. And we've done a big C, and then we're doing another big C facing it, like a back to front one. Let's wipe off that bit. We came a bit too big on the other one, but that's fine. This is white gel paint. And then this bit here, don't start this curvy, these segments from the top of the pumpkin. Start a bit further down, because then from here, this bit will be the back of the pumpkin. Well, not the back, but you know what I mean. And then I'm going to wipe away a little bit here for us to put the stalk, us. I would like you to come round and help me with the next bit. Oh, it took me way longer than it should have to decide what to do here. Both of these colours look awesome with this. Then I remembered golden leaves I used in the Hello Kitty video, the tartan, and Cafeteria Crush, which is from the September collection, is just too amazing not to be on screen. I did a little ipidipidation. Well, I didn't do ipidipidation. I did ip-dip dog shit. Fucking bastard, silly. That one. And picked this. So this is Cafeteria Crush. It's fudging amazing. Instead of doing the whole thing, which again you can do, I'm going to do it section by section, and then I'm going to push the glow, so get the most of the zhuzh on the bit of the section that would be the furthest out, you know, where the highlight would be. So think of the middle of the pumpkin, the furthest point out, the bit that you can touch, not the inside of the pumpkin. The furthest pokey outy bit is where we're going to have the concentration of the Cateye, so that it gets darker where it where you've got the humps, So the little slot in between the humps is where the shadow is, so that's where we'll do it darker. Way over explaining things here. But sometimes, you know, I'm sure there's one person out there who, you know, my over explanations might benefit, maybe. So we're going to do the same as the ones on the right. I'm going to put the highlight or the glow to the right. Wait, is that right? Yes. And then the sections on the left, I've put the glow to the left. See? Like that. And then at the back here, I'll do the same. This one's going to be at the top. So where each section meets, it's darker, because that's where a shadow would be. So just faffing around. Once I get the glow where I want it, see here, I'll just hold the magnet for a sec, just to make sure, like if you think, yes, that's where I want it. Okay, hold it there for a sec so everything has a chance to rush there towards the magnet. And then we can cure. Okay. Oh, forgot to bloody press record. Did a little curly majig in, what is that? That is, I think that's the one we used on Frankenstein's monster, whatever we're going to call him. I think that's the same green, because it's like a greeny yellow. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Sure it is. So flashed the curly bit and then just did a little stem, which is just a comma that's fatter at one end and straight. The straight bit, you know, it's not a dot comma. Anyway, now we have fully cured that and we're going to outline in black with black gel paint and the ultraliner. This is my favourite bit. I think I've discovered what one of my favourite things is. It's outlining, but outlining easy stuff. I just find it really enjoyable because it's easy, but it's still a little bit of a challenge because you want it to be nice and neat. So we can now curve at the bottom of the pumpkin where we just had the two C's that met and it was like a straight, well, not a straight line, but one curved line. We didn't do humps in white, did we? I can make the humps with the black. There are little bits of white poking out, which if this was a person, I would have ensured there weren't, but it's not a person. I know what you were thinking, there's an invisible person here the whole time, and this is their nail, or I've made them cover themselves in green paint and green screened them out. Nay, there is no person. So I didn't worry about the little white bit sticking out, it's fine. But this is really fun to do. Just if you do a bit and you're happy with it, feel free to just cure that shit, you know? Even if you just half cure it, just so it's safe. And then outlining the stalk. And then doing the curly bit. Oh my goodness. Took me like 3 goes. Because my brain couldn't think where the line would cross for the curl. Like it would figure it out and go, right, okay, dip my brush, get my brush ready, and then forget. And then be like, what? Wait, where does it, what? And then as I'm moving it about, the glow's moving and I can't really for the life of me see what's going on. So yeah. But when doing that curl, I didn't paint like a coil. I painted a C and then kind of another C facing it but lower but overlapping. Yeah, I'll try and put something on the screen to explain that. And then we will velvet and then shiny top the pumpkin. It does look nice when it's all shiny, but I feel like having the shiny things on the mat, I don't know, it makes them look kind of like stickers sort of thing. I just like it. I think it looks good. I think it makes them pop. That's what I mean. It makes them pop. So once that's done, we can cure. And then we've got our little pumpkin. Do we need a name for the pumpkin? Patrick the pumpkin? Paul? I can't think of any other P names. Why do I always think that the things I'm doing are male? Penelope Pumpkin? Percy Pumpkin. Okay, get on with it. I don't know why this video is so long. All my other videos are 5 nails and they're not as long, but I think maybe where it's a set, some are a lot more simple than others, and there'll be like a couple of feature ones, you know, where all of these are their own sort of feature. And it kind of works out at what, 10 minutes a nail? That's not too bad. And there's that one. See where it looks like, and with the bits and the, yeah. And also when you move it side to side, like sometimes you'll lose, you know, you don't see the glow at a certain angle, but this way you've got a glow on each side no matter which way you're looking at it from, you know. Okay, all right, we've seen it. On we go. Next we're starting with B-Day Bash, which is from a Madame Glam collection. I'm not sure if they still do it, but it's one of my favourite collections of theirs. And I'm using this instead of mauve something. What's it called? Oh, just wanted to point out, this was the next day. And my hands were doing this. I'm not putting that on. It looks like I am. If I was, I wouldn't show you, because why would I pretend to have the shakes when I'm trying to do nail art? I was having a shaky day. So you'll just have to bear with. Okay. We've done a line at the bottom and then a little line, trying to keep this centre. And we're going to come in a tiny bit from each side. We'll fix that top right corner of that bit in a bit. And then we're going to come down and out and then in a tiny bit. Not super duper in, but just in a tiny bit. So down and out wide and then in a tiny bit. And now what are we doing? Oh, this came out too far. So I'm going to adjust it and then wipe away what I don't want. And then we have a little potion bottle. I've put these in order of from least favourite to favourite. Although I think the green one's my least favourite just because couldn't see it very well. And I like the rest all the same. But so we've cured that, and I'm taking Born Pretty's Semi Jelly 01. I do have a thing for Born Pretty jellies. You can get money off there as well, 22% off, using the link in the description and the code on screen. I'm going to go over this, and then I'm going to cure it, and then I'm going to do a second coat of that, just so it's got a kind of, just so it's, you know, it's glass, but we don't want it to be, we want it, what am I trying to say? I want it to look like there's something there, instead of just not colouring it in with anything and it being see-through straight to the background. I wanted there to be a little misty whiteness. And this is Hocus Plum, was it? I'll list everything in the description. I always put all the colours in there. And they all have their own 2 emojis. Which is one of my favourite things to do, coming up with emojis for the names. And then we've filled in the bottom. We've given a little curve, which is a very unnatural way for liquid to sit in a bottle, but, you know, it looks cute. I'm going to add some dots and stars, because stars and dots make everything better. And instead of, you know, when you do these potion bottles, sometimes when you put the liquid in it, you leave a gap between the liquid and the outline of the bottle to give the, you know, the impression of thick glass. I did consider that, but decided not to, because all of these doodles are very doodles. Doodles. All of these doodles are like a very simple, basic, you know, so let's not get too tempted with details, because we want them to be clear and crisp. I'm going to add some little stars, uppity up, downity down, leftity left and rightity right, from a dot. But before I do that, I wipe my brush. Don't wipe it clean with anything, just wipe it on the palette so it's still moist with product, just so we can wisp off some lines out these dots. You don't want to have loads of product on there, otherwise you're going to have fat wisps, and that's just not a thing, is it? A fat wisp. And then I'm taking this polish, Harvest Glow is it, which I think is from the September, maybe? No, October, no. Before then? Or is it old? Well, not old, but older than this year. I can't remember. And we've done a little cork shape. And then we're just going to outline everything. But making sure that I now cover the white outline, because that was a silly idea. This probably would have made more sense to do the outline initially when we started in black and have that be your final outline. But Clever Clocks over here didn't think of that. Do you know it's cold here now? I mean, it's not freezing, but I've been fluffy socking it for well over a week now. Had my first daytime hot chocolate today or yesterday, and Cocoa Pops are now Cocoa Pops with hot milk because it's cold. What is it like where you are? I see these things on telly in like other countries and they're like, oh, it's a gorgeous autumn day, and they're out in a fucking t-shirt. What's going on? I think autumn has a different meaning over here. Autumn means it's bloody cold and windy. Anyway, we've outlined everything. Again, very enjoyable outlining. And then velvetized, and we'll shiny top. I'm putting some product in the middle and then using that as my palette, because I'm that lazy that I don't want to have to move my hand just to that palette you can see there, you know, it's miles away. And I think shiny topping Cateye that has been matted or buffed is possibly better than shiny topping buffed glitter. I know, controversial, but I think it might be. So that's that one, our little simple bottle of potion. I was really tempted to add, oh look, right. That sounded rude. That's the mauve, and that's that same Cateye on it. That was my first go. I thought the back looked shite, and again it was quite dark on dark, which is why I switched to the lilac background, or the more brighter purple. And the bat, because I couldn't see very well painting his eyes on that Cateye, they just came out and he just looked like, you know, he needed to go to Specsavers. So I thought, let's just try something else. So we have done 2 coats of Crimson Cloak, and I've wiped and buffed just so we can see better. Oh, this one's a good one. So we've done a big curve and brought it down, and then we're doing the same on the other side. We're going to do some lips. So it's like a big lazy M, just like that. Eyeballing it, you know, that one comes down to that point on that side. So just kind of in your head, creating an imaginary horizontal line to meet it on the other side. And then a big U, making sure obviously that it, the lowest point is in the center. And then we'll come round and do our bottom, the top of the bottom lip. Take that up to our points on the corners. And then here we'll mimic the shape above. And then up and then down again to this point that we have at the sides here. Up a bit, down, boom, mouth. The first M, initial M, I did a couple of times and wasn't happy. But once you've got that, the mouths are so easy to paint like this. They're super fun because they're just easy, but effective. And we've got 2 pointy fangs. I'm bringing it into the bottom lip a bit. And then we're going to add some toothy pegs here. I know this isn't where fangs would be, but just this where they are today. And then I do end up adding teethies either side at the other side of the fangs, so you could add them in now if you wanted. And then we're going to do a curve, but there's got a tiny little dip in the middle. That's going to be the tongue. but I thought it needs to come out behind the fangs as well. So I'm just widening that a little bit, and then I'll wipe off. There. I've already cured, or flash cured even, the lips, so I can wipe now without wiping everything else off. Okay, in the lamp. Wait until you see this. This is Ruby Thorns. This looks amazing, even without zhuzhing. But zhuzh it, because zhuzh. So just going to go over the lips with this. We'll do them one by one. We'll Cateye this one, and then flash cure it, and then zhuzh the bottom lip as well. Yeah? Okay. How are you all? You all okay? I have been reading your comments. There's so many that I want to reply to, and I leave the notification on my phone. I don't swipe it away because I'm like, I want to reply to that comment. But then another comment comes through, so it sort of knocks that notification out of the way. And I do just need to go back to the videos and look through. And then I'm like, oh, I'm never going to find it. Or I will find it. It's not like I've got billions of comments. Look at this zhuzh, by the way. Oh, yes. I don't know what I was doing, faffing around with it here. Yeah, I think, right, I need to go through them and reply. And then I'm like, right, okay, well, I need to set some time aside to do that. You know, if I'm going to reply to a message, I don't want it to be a quick one. I want to be able to think about it. And then, you know, it's just, anyway. But I do read all your comments, so thank you for them. Some of them crack me up. Who was it? Oh, I screenshot it. Daisy Nails by Kate. Left a comment, said, I have some really bad news for you. Saw that in a notification bar. Being an anxiety person, was like, oh, okay, I'm dying. It's the end of the world. You know, asteroid's about to strike Earth or something. Realised that was probably an irrational way of thinking, and then opened the comment. It's like, I've got some really bad news for you. You love pink. I was like, oh shit, I think I do. Oh well, it's okay. Apparently I'm a pink person. I'm not, but I love pink. Why am I taking so long with this bottom? This is why the video is 49 minutes long. It's 48 minutes of me bringing out the zhuzh on that bottom lip's what it is. But I was trying to create shadows where I wanted shadows, but the camera is looking at it from a different angle to me. So from above it looks like I'm not doing anything. We've cured that, and now I'm taking, this is the pink gel paint. I love their gel paints for little sections like this because it's, you know, it stays put because it's thicker, and you can spread it thin without losing any opacity. And yeah, I like them. I love their gel paints. So we've done the tongue. I've done this in a really bizarre order. I didn't know which bit to do first. Shall I do the teeth and then the tongue and then the black? Or the, you know, or any other combination of those. And I feel like this order I've done them in is really bizarre for some reason. But it's just the way I did it, because I thought I can use the black to shape the tongue, and it would be easier to shape over the pink with black than the other way round. And yeah, so now we're filling in between the teeth and the tongue and these side bits, which I end up adding more teeth in. So maybe if you want to do teeth there as well, you would have already drawn them in, but you'll decide if you want to do that once you've seen it, once I've put them in. Fuck, I'm rambling, aren't I? Never mind. Now we can do the teeth, and I've gone up with the black a tiny bit between the two middle teeth, because we don't want it to be just a dead straight line, and I am going to outline it anyway. But at the middle teeth, why am I pointing to my teeth? You can't see. Yeah, it's not just going to be a dead straight line. It's going to be like a tiny little upwards dip between the centre of the two middle teeth. Yeah, this is white gel paint. You could use gel polish, not a problem. But I do like using the gel paints, especially for white bits like this, where you, or any small bits, you really only want to do one coat. So gel paints, you just get that opacity, or what's the other word? Yeah, I'm just going to go for opacity. It's not the word I'm thinking of, but it will do. See how in between the middle teeth I've left a very fine line. Oh, bit of fluff off. And when I did the cat eye on the bottom lip, I did leave gaps where the bit of the fang is poking into the lip, because otherwise, oh, here's where we're adding extra teeth. A bit higher up, or the bottom of them is a bit higher up than the bottom of the middle ones because they're further back. Yeah, if I hadn't have left a gap when I did the cat eye on the bottom lip, when we brought the fangs down onto it, there'd be a little, oh, this is the wrong word to use, I was going to say lip. There'd be a little hump, a little ridge, where the tooth would be flat, and then have to go over the cat eye bit. So make sure you leave that little gap so you don't have that little dip or raised bit, because it might create a little bit of a shadow, just a tiny bit, and you wouldn't want to see that. And now we can outline. It would have made more sense, because I'm going to velvet this to get the background velvet, even though I've buffed it, but that's just for us to be able to see. Well, you really, I did it for you. Everything I do, I do it for you. But I could have velveted before doing the outline, because when I top the doodles, I don't know what else to call them, then I top over the black outline as well. So it would have been easier to see what I was doing if everything was velvet right now. But I'm only just thinking of that right this second. So will I remember for next time? Probably not. But outlining these, regarding pressure, I would say it's a no pressure outline. Brush touches the nail and you pull it in the direction you want it to go. You don't need to press down for any pressure, and that will keep it nice and thin. You can see like that bit there. If I do it thin and I think that's not dark enough because I've done a thin line, I'll just do the same thing again, not adding more pressure, just go over it thin again, to keep the line thin but still dark. Oh, we've done a little line going into the tongue at an angle, just a little curve like that. And now it's been velveted and topped in the middle because I forgot to do this bit here. So I've put it in the order it's done, but this was after I'd finished adding the outline to the top of the bottom lip. Yeah? And then we'll switch to velveting and topping, but I hadn't done that outline yet. You see? So I did something at the end, but I'm putting it in the order as if I did it right in the first place. So that was it without topping the middle bit. Look at that cat eye matte. That looks kind of awesome, doesn't it? And then we'll top this, and then I'll realise the error in my ways and do the bit that we just saw me do. Has anybody watched Nobody Wants This? I watched it when it came out, really liked it. Saw that the season 2 is coming to Netflix in the next few days, so I rewatched season 1 again in like one evening, and now I'm really excited for season 2. I love it. It's just a nice, you know, it's funny bits, and yeah, if you haven't seen it, I recommend. Oh my word, it's 4:30 in the morning. Okay, that's that one. I love that. Simple, it's not too difficult, you know, it's easy to do, it's fun, it's neat, it's crisp, it's just, I love it, you know, plain but really pretty. That cat eye, oh god, it's amazing. Okay, this one isn't part of the video because it's in the bin now, but this was what I was going to do, Cauldron, which we are going to do, but I wanted to use potion dust, the colour potion dust, for the stuff in the cauldron, but I didn't like my colour combos there. So it went in the bin and thought, let's do pink because apparently so. I love pink. So we're using pink, what was that, like Pink Frenzy or pink, what was it? It was Pink Frenzy. I just went back and checked. Which isn't from the Moonlit spell collection. But we needed, just wanted to, whatever that means. So we're doing a straight line, and then we're just going to curve the edges here, like that. It's the cauldron. And then we're going to come round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. And the same there. Hope for the best that they're relatively symmetrical, because this was your second attempt. Add some legs, which do change in a bit. Because instead of bringing them out like that and then doing this bottom line of the leg at an angle, it would be flat, wouldn't it? So the outside line of the leg would come out further than the inside line, and then you do a horizontal line joining the two. Are you with me? Hands up. Let's get together and have a meeting. Are we all on the same page with the leg front? Leg gate. And then I'm filling it in using Perfect Black instead of gel paints. It's a big section, and hello, look how opaque Perfect Black is. Oh my god, it's amazing. And then cure it. Oh, so we're going to take Haunted Velvet from that Moonlit spell collection. And I'm just going to go to one side, because on attempt number 1, with the grey-blue background, I did this all over, and it was a bit like, what am I looking at? So it was too, it wasn't clear enough what was going on. So I'm doing it to one side and then fading it towards the centre. And then I'll bring out the zhuzh mostly on that right side. And then I feel like where we faded it, it kind of looks like, like a big cast iron cauldron that's just got a bit of light on it. And it didn't... Oh, this, things I've tried, thought I'd keep it in so you can see, there's several attempts for things, and these were all not so great, but you might like this way of doing it in different sections. What's saying about the cauldron? Oh, okay, so this is the final one. So we're going to do a big wiggly snake to the left of the centre, because now we're going to go on the other side. So put that a bit to the left, and then where we go in on that one, we're going to come out on this one. Out wide, so we've got this swooshy bit of potion. Oh, look at this. This is Love's Abyss. This was from a February collection. Look at it, and it's a bloody Cateye. Oh. So we'll fill that in. What's it saying about the cauldron? Oh yeah, so having the Cateye on it just to one side, instead of it being all Cateye and the glow making it more silvery than black, this keeps it black but also stops it from being just a big black blob, because the Cateye adds a bit of dimension to it, Yeah. And then fill this in, and then we'll zhuzh this. Look at the zhuzh. It's like a really fizzy zhuzh, which is perfect for this. And I did want to add some like little dots and sparky type things coming out of it, but again I thought keep it simple. I wish you could have seen the gesture I just did. Keep it simple and neat and crisp. And then we're going to add a little crescent moon. So we're going to do a C and then a smaller C, sort of spooning it. We're going to spoon 2 C's. Ah, they're spooning. And then just join them together and then pull out this bit here just to make it a bit pointier. Oh, made a mistake. Wipe it away. Just pull out at the tip here to make that end in a point. Again, I could have velveted and then added these so I could see what the fudge was going on. Especially for this bit here, I painted a tiny star. And you know how you can't see what's going on? I couldn't see either. So it took about three attempts but we did a little star. One that, you know, you start with the letter A, but the horizontal line of the A comes out too far, and then just join everything up. But it was so small that when I did the A, the top V of the star was kind of already filled in, just because everything was so small and close together. But I would say velvet first. Be much easier to do outlines and things, because you wouldn't have this light reflection or the cat eye glowing and blinding you so you can't see what's going on. And then we'll outline our little potion. I love this one. I really had planned for this to be the green one and have the green potion spell, potion dust was the colour, as the stuff coming out of it. But as soon as I thought, what about pink? There was just no turning back. That was it. Velvet eyes, shiny top, and then we'll have a little tidy up and we'll have a look at them all together. What are you wearing on your nails for Halloween? Let me know. I'm so tempted to paint my nails. I know it's been over a year. And in the evenings when I'm all like chill, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to paint my nails. I might even do some nail art on them. And then in the morning, I'm like, oh no, I'm far too anxious. I'm far too anxious to have polish on. But that's just my life at the moment. I saw this thing I was looking at Temu stuff the other day when Rosie was here. And I saw this bag. Oh, look at this. Look how cute this is. Adorable. I love that. I think the cat eye glow just doing that on the cauldron, as opposed to it being all over, because it would be all silver, was great. That sounded well, blowing my own trumpety. Wasn't. It was just a good call. We're going to have a tidy up. Do you like the tidy up sections, the little whiz through? I find it quite satisfying, just slowly watching the desk get cleaner and cleaner. Let me know if you like these bits. So this thing we saw on Temu. It was this makeup bag type thing, but for pills, obviously. And it said, if you're happy, if you're happy and you know it, if you're happy and you know it, it's your meds. Oh my god, I cracked up. Oh, that was hysterical. I think Rosie wondered why I found it so funny. Hopefully she'll never understand why it's so funny, but oh, that just cracked me up. If you're happy and you know it, it's meds. Brilliant. Right, we've tidied up. There we go. And this is the final set. I'm a bit disappointed with the green one, just because you can't see it very well. And also because I was looking at the inspo and hers was just so much nicer, which is always the way when you're looking at inspo. But apart from that, I love them. I think they're so cute. You could pick one and base a set around that, or you could do all of them. You can do them in different colours. You can do whatever you want. But I'm obsessed with cat eyes at the moment, and I just had to do some cat eye things. Let me know which one is your favourite in the comments. Or just come and say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Mine is that one, and then that one, and then I think these two are joint third, and then that one, who we need to name, because I've just insulted him. If you like this video, hype, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.